So I just had a realization that I'm really, really addicted to my phone. And I looked at my screen time, which was around 6 hours a day, which is a lot. And I'm sure that 90% of the people in this world right now are addicted too. So I looked deep into it and just to find out what causes this phone addiction. And I think the biggest reason is this tricky, overused, but very misunderstood chemical called dopamine. And in this video, I'll be talking about what is dopamine, the history of this chemical, how it affects us, and how you can use it to cure your phone addiction. So let's start with what is dopamine. So dopamine is this chemical of motivation. So when you open Instagram and you see that red notification, your brain tells you, hey, that felt good, do it again. Or when you open Instagram and you watch a 30-second clip, when you complete watching that clip and you scroll on to the next one, your brain tells you, hey, that felt good, keep doing it. Now the reason that it evolved to be a chemical of motivation is very interesting. So let's go back to the caveman times. And remember, our brain chemistry is still the same as it was like thousands of years ago. So in the caveman times, we had to go out and hunt for food. We didn't have grocery stores. We couldn't just walk into a store in exchange of money, get food. No, you had to go out and hunt to get food. Now, that hunting process is a very difficult process and it requires a humongous amount of motivation and effort. So, when you have the effort and motivation to go and hunt, you go and hunt and come back with food. And when you eat that food, your brain tells you, that feels good. We'll do it again tomorrow. So, it really evolved for humans to go out and hunt and accomplish something. Because just imagine if we didn't have this dopamine, if we didn't have this motivation aspect of dopamine, our caveman people wouldn't have gone out to hunt. They wouldn't have the motivation to go out and hunt. So that is why dopamine evolved to become this chemical of motivation. Now, what causes addiction? That's the question. So, dopamine comes with a very big warning sign that it's highly, highly addictive. Now, one would think that that's not a bad thing. What's wrong with being addicted to accomplishment, right? But that's where the catch comes in. So, when you watch a 30-second clip on Instagram and you finish watching it, your brain thinks that you accomplished something and it gives you a reward in the sense of dopamine and it tells you, hey, you did something, here's a reward. But in reality, you didn't accomplish anything. Your brain is thinking that you went out hunting because it can't differentiate what's real and what's not real. So in your brain, it's thinking that you went out to hunt, but in reality, all you did was waste 30 precious seconds of your life that you can never replenish. And one would think that that's still okay. I just wasted an hour of my day or my week or whatever, right? But there's another catch to dopamine. So you have a baseline of dopamine. So when you watch Instagram for hours, when you scroll on Instagram for hours, your brain gets overstimulated. So you start off your day on the baseline and you scroll for hours and hours and hours and hours and you get to this level. And when you stop scrolling, your dopamine levels don't reset to the baseline. They go down, way down the baseline. And that's what makes you feel depressed and lonely. Because your dopamine is supposed to be at the baseline, but because of your overstimulation, when it drops, it goes below the baseline. That is why when you stop scrolling, you feel depressed throughout the day. Now, the question is, are we doomed? Is there a cure to this? How can we trick dopamine into helping us, right? So the biggest thing that you can do is know the fact that mornings are very, very important. So every morning when you wake up with a baseline of dopamine. It resets every morning. And if the first thing that you do is you go to Instagram and scroll on Instagram, the very first thing in the morning, that sets the tone for your day, right? So if you wake up, you pick up your phone, you're at the baseline for dopamine, but when you start scrolling, even if you do it for like 15, 20 minutes, your dopamine levels would still go down the baseline. And that will set the tone for your day. That is how you're gonna feel all day. You're gonna feel depressed all day because your dopamine levels are below the baseline. What are some things that you can do? The first thing to do is wake up and meditate. Meditation will reset your dopamine levels, and it will literally get you back to your baseline and help you be less stimulated. It will also calm down your nervous system, and it has a lot of mental health benefits. So think of it as lifting weights for your brain. Those are literally your brain gains. So I think there's a global epidemic that we all are fighting with the phone addiction, because we have no boundaries with our phones, and people spend hours and hours on phones mindlessly scrolling. And these are some things that we can do to cure this phone addiction. If you like the video, hit like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.